April, Minnesota. Classic. Let me show you guys what I'm seeing, because this is crazy. So literally 15 minutes ago there was no snow on the ground and it was just a regular day. But now it's snow season. You know what? Snow out here is actually fine. It's okay. I've been looking for an excuse to cuddle up with a warm cup of coffee, and I actually have an order of coffee coming in later today, which I'm super excited about. It's from my favorite roaster here in the Twin Cities, SK Coffee. But I figure, what a great excuse to cuddle up, make some coffee, unplug from the outside world, and just really take this time for myself. Be inside, stay inside. I'm kidding because of quarantine. I've been inside for a long time, so this is just adding insult to injury, Minnesota. Thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna pick you guys back up as soon as the coffee gets here, and then we can make a Chemex and surprise Sarah with that. Alright, we got our coffee. Sarah knows that she's getting coffee. It's not a surprise because I showed her what I filmed earlier. This is gonna be great. It smells so good from outside the package.
Yeah, I can already smell it.
One step of the coffee making process that we have to adhere to right now that we normally don't adhere to is the sanitization step.
Oh, it smells so good.
I know Sam who roasts this coffee and I trust him, but you never know where the Rona is. Let me go wash my hands now. Alright, I've been making Chemexes for almost like every day, just about. I'd probably say 2/3 of a year. We've gotten pretty good. I've gotten pretty good at making a Chemex. That's true.
I have nothing
You've
to
never
do.
made a Chemex. Let's talk through the process. First thing you want to do is measure out your beans.
Just smell it. Marlo, get in there.
He's into it.
What's funny is that Melvin actually does that too, but he
He's like trying to eat it.
He thinks it's baby food.
We use 38 grams of coffee beans. It's very important.
Oh, look how light and roasted
I
it
know. It's very important to do this like right before you make your coffee. Like the shortest amount of time between grinding and brewing the coffee, the better. And also, the fresher the beans, the better. That should go without saying. It's 4/9 and these were roasted April 8th. So yesterday. And it smells really good.
It's blueberry.
Yeah. So
not blueberry flavored, but like, no, it's a blueberry.
From Ethiopia in the Guji region, and this is actually a sun-dried grade 1, so they don't wash the coffee beans, they let them dry inside the cherry, which I think makes it a little bit different too. SK Coffee, we love them so much.
We love them.
So, 38 grams of coffee, I get my water up to about 204 degrees. I'm gonna go grind these. Fresh ground coffee. Now, if you are using a virtuoso style grinder, which is what we use, I keep that like 19 or 20, right around there. And it does depend a little bit on the bean. But if it's like super light, I'll do 19. If it's a little bit darker, then I do 20 or 21. So this is just a square of paper that's folded into quarters. And then you puff it out a little bit, and then the side with 3 layers goes into the spout. And then you're just gonna hold it in there. Get a little bit of water running through that, and that takes out some of the papery feel, or papery taste. And you can actually smell paper. So we're just trying to get that out of there.
And then you dump it out.
So now, you can take our grounds and dump them in. And then we are going to level this off. Some people put a little like a little dimple in the middle. I don't do that. I do that for a V60, but I don't do it for a Chemex. So ratio wise, what I do, since this is 38 grams of coffee, is I'm going to do a 76 gram bloom, which means I'm gonna add 76 grams of water and let that sit for a minute. What that does is it lets this all bubble up, and all the carbon dioxide that's in the beans, that's like sort of the bittery stuff, is just gonna come out as gases, which is really awesome. Keep the water, I have it right at like 204 degrees I found works really well for me. I'm gonna start the timer on here, then add 76 grams of water in small concentric circles to make sure that all the grounds are getting saturated in this initial bloom. So now we're gonna let that bubble up, and it's gonna be about a minute, and then I'm gonna start adding my second round of water. One interesting fact, the fresher the beans, the more you're gonna get bubbling during the bloom. So that's pretty cool. We are at 55 seconds. So now I'm gonna add an additional 200 grams of water. So my total water is going to be 276 grams. And again, very deliberate concentric circles, and that's to make sure that the heat and the water is being distributed evenly, because you don't want like some areas to be like burnt. So I want to make sure you're going all the way around town. Now we're at 276. I'm gonna let this drain down a little bit. I let it drain down a pretty good amount, and then I want to get it so that the next time I fill it up, I'm going to go to the same line inside the edge of this that it makes. And then I want basically this to go down enough that when I pull it up, it's gonna be at 420 grams of water. Really weird math to try to like articulate. It's sort of a by feel thing. All that means is I let this drain down a good amount before I start adding water back in. So this is pretty good. Some people want you to do a center pour and just pour right in the middle, but that, in my opinion, really overbrews those grounds that are in the middle and neglects all this other good stuff on the edges. So again, I'm coming right up to the edge. And now we're right at that line, and we're about 425 grams. So that's pretty much what I want to do. While I wait for this to pour down a little bit, I'm actually going to get my secret weapon that is going to polarize a lot of people watching this video if they actually care about making chemixes, because it's a little bit risque. Alright, so we are about to finish this off. My ratio would call for me to add up to 570 total grams of water. So we should be right about at that level. After this, there are two steps that I do right away. So step one.
Smells so good.
So I'm going to give this a swirl and try to get everything off like the edges of the paper, just so it all settles in a flat pool. And this is the risky part. So this is my AeroPress paddle. You can use like a spoon or something, but I give this a little bit of a mix. And again, lots of people are gonna say that you shouldn't do that. Nothing egregious, but I just give it a little bit of a stir. And the reason I do that is because one time I had to do it when I was first learning how to make a Chemex. I ground it too fine and it like traffic jammed in there. And I gave it a little bit of a paddle, and I found that it really drew out the flavors that I like in coffee, which are light and acidic. So once I dialed in all the other parts of it, I tried doing that again and found that it really does just sort of like shake the flavor off the beans a little bit at the end, which is weird, but true. All right. I'm going to take this out and toss it, and then we will pour our cups.
Praise the Lord, I'm
so excited.
so hungry.
Alright, this might sound like overkill and like it's not important, and maybe it's not important, but again, just all these incremental things. When I pour the coffee, I pour like slowly. I don't know why. I've just found that not like shaking things up too much actually sort of helps with the flavor. You can smell that blueberry.
It smells so good.
So the one last tip is don't drink it while it's too hot. Let it cool off just a little bit. It doesn't have to be like cold or room temperature, but the lighter the roast, the more those flavors are going to come out as it cools off just a little bit. Whereas like dark roast coffees, drink that while it's piping hot. Learned that recently from Sam at SK. we're gonna go, but hope that helps, and maybe, yeah, thanks for watching.